This media recording will cover high-level features and benefits of the Philips ST80i software. We will have other media available related to test functionality and so on. That is available information in the operator manuals or user manuals for Ascent and Breeze Suite as well. But here I've got Philips in demo mode, so I want to demonstrate a lot of the settings and testing functionality within that. But here, I'm going to enter in the default username, which is ADMIN or admin, and then the default password 123456. When I enter into the software, again, I have this in demo mode. User would only see resting if they have purchased the resting option. Again, we have that available in Salesforce for quoting, but that's enabled when demo mode's enabled as well. So you have that resting option, but we'll concentrate mostly on stress and reporting. Um, Service has its own media module. This is where tokens are applied or device communication is tested. So that is an important area to be accessed. The explain test functionality can just be a recording that explains what the patient will go through in a stress test. Most commonly is maybe used for explaining it in different languages. However, only one audio file can be uploaded at one time. Um, so it's not commonly used, but could be very useful, I believe, per what Phillips says. Settings is where I want to concentrate on first. Clicking in there, for I/O devices, we're on the System Settings tab here. The I/O devices, if you had multiple PIMs, this is the patient interface module. So the module that's wireless connects to the patient cables, the electrodes, and thus the patient. You can have multiple PIMs. The address is located on the back of the PIM, and it's the last four digits that need to be changed. So if the customer purchases multiple PIMs, those can be added. And again, you can test the communication of those in the service area of the Philips software. The external devices are configured here as well. So treadmills, they have a RAM or a TrackMaster or others. Obviously, that's included here. But also Lotas and Ergolines are there as well. The COM ports, and then for BP device, they would have that listed there. The analog outputs are if they want to have an output going to their echocardiogram. That's somewhat common request from our customers these days. So that is possible. And then the TTL output is most commonly used for a Tango M2 or Suntech if they have that. Various site locations, patient fields. This is what is required to be entered when the patient is being added. Lots of flexibility here if they want to add additional fields. Remote sites. This could be a number of different things, but ultimately it is sharing information with one site or another that might be part of the same, say, organization. Log viewer will be very important for our support team and/or users as they go ahead and troubleshoot any issues that may arise. Philips support may be requesting this from us as well if there are any issues we're working with them on. The system selection is an important area. I have demo mode enabled right now. I would encourage you to work with our IT team and install the Philips software. I know it's not easy to go through that process, but once you have it, the ability to interact with the software and learn is increased exponentially by just going in and using it and seeing what things look like in demo mode. What you can also do here is you can enable the Philips ST80i software to be communicating with either Breeze or Ascent. And if it's communicating with Ascent, this instead of Breeze class would be Ascent class. Here are the power saving settings for the PIM. Could be very, very important. And then from here, you can change logos and institution names and so on. Device configuration. This is an area where, if anybody remembers WellChallenge and Cardio Perfect, you used to be able to kind of build out all your protocols, displays, settings, and you'd be able to create a configuration and then essentially apply it. So you didn't have to start from scratch with the next installation. So Philips works in a similar way. So if you sell an existing Philips house in Ultima that they're going to be connecting to ST80i, they can get a configuration from one of their existing Philips, so it looks like the rest of their the rest of their existing Philips do. The narrative settings, think of this like our auto interpretation. You can pull in different variables. Here we have protocol name, exercise time, METs. And I should note that those are estimated METs. Ascent or breeze is going to show measured METs, and then of course heart rates, BPs, etc. User profile is important because this is what's available to the user for testing when they log in. If they didn't have the Bruce listed in their user protocols, they would not see that as an available option. So, any protocols they need, their RPE scales, also displays. So, being able to adjust, commonly, a lot of people like looking at 6x2. Couple of various things here, adjusting the max heart rate formula, the target heart rate. They do have an option for green on black or the traditional black on red. Green on black looks very, very nice if you got the black background going in Ascent. Shows very, very well. And then other aspects of where you want the toolbars and so on. The notifications and or any auto alerts that the user would like to display in the software and or automatically print. Filters per Philips, these are rarely changed if ever. So uh, the the use case I can see for this would be if they want to enable non-diagnostic filtering or maybe adjust their AC filter for various reasons. The algorithms. We have further information about this on the MGC internet. That being said, this is one of the areas that Philips has said is one of their strengths. So I would encourage you to review that documentation to be able to speak to it. ECG report. This is the ECG printout. Can be configured multiple different ways, as you can see here. The events printouts, the rhythm strips, and then ultimately what's included on the final report. Resting ECG, this will be for the resting ECG prints, and then it could be same as event print as noted here, and then the interpretation. It should be noted that if they don't have the resting ECG option, they still get a resting interpretation with their test. Exercise protocols can be built here. It should be noted that, like Ascent, you can't modify an existing protocol, but you can clone one. And I just wanted to highlight down here the ergo ramp is what we were waiting for. You can set your ECG prints and BP triggering within here as well. And lastly is user accounts. This is where users can be set up, passwords can be created, etc. And that covers the settings area. I'll go into stress here. And again, it's in demo mode. You can search. You can adjust your devices right from here. If they have a bike and a treadmill and want to switch easily, they can do that. Because it's in demo mode. Here's the Breeze Suite message. With this, if that check or enable Breeze Suite is checked, Philips ST80i will see it's not open and ask the user if they still want to proceed. You can click yes, and they can use the ST80i in standalone. Within demo mode, a couple of things I wanted to highlight here is you can change the displays. You can show various things like the lead map. This is where you could see if an electrode was disconnected. The software would tell you as well. Zoom ST is still a thing. It does take 45 to 50 seconds to learn. You can override that. And if you started the pre exercise phase, it would just tell you that it hasn't gotten all of its information and do you want to proceed? And you could do that. You can freeze screen. Those freezes are noted within the full disclosure review and report module. Events are those resting events that could be added, or maybe events during exercise or user defined events. The RPE scale, notes that can be added, narrative can continue to be built during the testing phase. Compare. This would be comparing rest to exercise and so on. Here is to silent the audible beeps. And the quick settings, you can adjust the filters if need be. These are display gains and speeds, your rhythm prints, your sync outputs. So, for example, if you find that there's not a strong R wave in V1, but there is in V5, you can switch to that and proceed. Your events or auto event detection can be enabled or disabled, and then the pacer detection can be modified as well. There is additional information about the pacer detection and all of these things in the IFU. We'll proceed into the pre-exercise phase. So we're in the observe phase, or the prepare phase is what Phillips calls it now. But if I click on pre-exercise, that is what will move Ascent or Breathe Suite into the resting phase. Um, I wanted to highlight a couple things here. If the user or customer had multiple PIMs, they would be able to switch between two. So think of this as if the battery ran out. And it should be noted, we do have not only battery indicator, but also signal indicator, which is very, very nice and a big, I think, improvement from the current offering with Mortara X-Scribe. You can switch the protocol at any time during the test. This is for bike and treadmill. So I think that this is very unique, specifically on the treadmill side. Probably not done very often, but still is something that could be highlighted. You can relearn. This would allow you to adjust J points and so on and so forth. Further information is about that in the manual. Entering in BPs, if they don't have the tango, the slashes don't need to be used. If you have multiple BPs, you're able to see the previous one below. SPO2 will come from the tango if interfaced. If not, can be manually entered. Um, this could be used multiple different ways. If the SPO2 is controlled by Ascent or Breeze and you're manually entering it, or it's controlled by Philips and you're manually entering it into Breeze and Ascent, there are multiple ways to do that. And then if this were not in demo mode, you would be able to see where manual ergometer control can occur. You do have predicted max watts. You could display that on Breeze or Ascent. They're not going to be the same because I believe that Philips uses just an ACSM equation or something to predict that. So there will be discrepancy, not a huge discrepancy, but it will be different just based on the reference. When we proceed into exercise, we have the ability to trigger BPs if we had that interfaced, a rhythm strip if we had a thermal printer connected. We could trigger an ECG print, hold the protocol, or move to the next stage. And when we click recovery, Breathe Suite or Ascent also moves to recovery. For the situations where there's an EIB protocol or that sort of thing, you could override the test control of Philips within Ascent or Breeze Suite and stop the metabolic data collection, continue ECG recovery, and do post FVCs, so on and so forth. The report module is right here. We have everything from summary, tabular, trends, averages, events, resting ECGs, if those were done, ST comparisons, full disclosure. It also offers test replay. Uh, Once the test is saved, they can export, they can print, they can confirm the study. They can also then do a replay of the study, which is a unique feature, similar to the old previous version of Mortara. Uh, I would encourage that you be outside of test mode with Breeze and or Ascent if that's open while you're utilizing the test replay. Um, Very quickly, clicking on this test replay, you do have the ability to jump to various points within the test and play and pause at any specific time as need be. And then when you are completed, you can click on report and end the replay and get back to the report module and or main section. Here's where you could confirm that or archive the information. That would be to manage databases and so on and so forth, or transfer to the archive database. Various databases can be restored. Lastly, when we click back to main, I just wanted to highlight this question mark up here could be useful to any of us in terms of when that's clicked, you can see the instructions for use for ST80i. This can help us answer questions, support customers, very important things. Thank you.